Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the KeithAndrewNetWork. This is episode 479. I'm here with the talented and beautiful Stephanie Russell. I just want to say thank you for being a guest on my talk show.
Thank you so much for having me today.
No, absolutely. The honor's all mine. For people who want to know what my talk show is about, the whole point of my talk show is to show people that even with having a learning disability, I can sell them out to something. And at the same time, I'm able to turn myself into an example for people out there dealing with any types of learning disabilities and disabilities to never give up and prove people wrong. Prove to them that labels do not dictate who you are and who you're going to be. And to prove to them you can stem out to something. With that being said, half hour, 37 minutes of your time. And starting off, I'm going to ask you some easy questions, some hard-hitting ones. And let's just jump right into it. I'm going to ask you what I want to ask you. When you started your career, who influenced you, and how many years have you been acting?
So I have probably been acting for about 25 years. My greatest influence was probably my grandfather, who was the one who recognized when I was young that I had a talent and that I could be put on stage. And so he was the first one to bring me to a local theater company and put me on stage. And it's just continued from there. So 25 years, my grandfather was probably the biggest influence. And yeah.
No, absolutely. And you did mention that you had a family connection with Jim Carrey.
Yes, I do. So when we're talking about external influences like actors and performers who have also influenced me, Jim Carrey was probably one of the greatest influences of my life. In fact, when I was young, my very first boyfriend I ever had, he won my heart by doing an incredible impression of Ace Ventura. And so, so Jim Carrey has definitely been very, very apparent in my life. And when this is just recently, too, that I have learned this within the last few years, learned that my grandfather and his father used to carpool to work when Jim was really young. And so my family has had close connections with the Carey family, which is really, really cool. He just actually, their old house is right behind the house that I'm currently in. So that's kind of really something very cool. And I saw an interview that he gave maybe a few months ago where he was talking about living in this area. And I was like, oh my gosh, I know what he's talking about because I'm here right now.
Do you guys still keep in contact or not really?
So I don't know Jim Carrey personally. I'd love to change that, but I don't know him personally right now. It's just something from my family's history.
No, absolutely. It's always good to have that connection.
Yeah.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is, what were some of your favorite films that you started, and how did all that come about? Did you take acting classes? Did someone open the door for you?
So the very first film that I ever did, I met the people through my undergraduate. So I went to the University of Guelph in Guelph, Ontario, Canada, and I did a double major there where I majored in theater studies and anthropology. And throughout my education there, I, of course, met many people, as you do when you go to university. You meet a lot of different people. And there was a group of young people who formed a production company called Lynn Vander Productions, which they're still in, they're still a business and have moved since from just films and business accounts to games. They're recently moving into games, which is really, really cool. So when they first started out, they did a film called Four Aces, and I was cast in it. And that was because I met and knew those people through school. So that it was both a door opening and also through a networking. And I still continue to be very close friends with many of the people in that production company, and I'm super excited for the work that they do.
No, absolutely. What can you tell us about the production company?
So they are locally based out of Guelph, Ontario. For several years, they've done a lot of business commercials and a few web series and the feature film Four Aces, and I did a few other smaller films with them. And as I said, they have recently moved into like board games, and they have a gaming cafe that they've opened called the Round Table, I believe. And yeah, so they're homegrown, and they keep it local for the most part, but they have been pulled out into like LA and a few different spots, and so they've got some big name friends, and hopefully that will help them grow and take things even further, and maybe Netflix will pick them up. That would be cool.
Hey, you never know. Maybe they would take
Yeah.
an interest in working with me.
Oh, maybe. Yeah, absolutely.
Now, the next question I was going to ask you is: you mentioned you had an opportunity to be an actress or be a first AMRO, female AMRO. So, if you had to go back, what do you have any regrets, or are you satisfied with everything you do now? Because making history is making history.
Yeah, absolutely. So your life takes you where it takes you. And so I don't want to say that I have, like, that I regret my life. I wish that it was a little bit easier to become a successful artist in Canada. And so I would push anybody who is maybe in governance or big business to really support the arts here locally, because we have so many incredible people, and our talent is pushed south very, very frequently, where we could make a booming industry in Canada. And BC has a really good, strong industry going. Alberta also, Toronto does as well. But we could do better. Like we could do so much better. And I'm not sure what that is, but I did a research paper when I was in university about it, and all the satellite industries that come off of the film industry or theater, and how many people are employed in the arts, and those people deserve to be well paid, and they deserve to have a good life, and not struggle and sit on the bottom of the tier all the time. You don't want your talent to be the poor. And it's not taken as seriously as, say, a business degree or I don't know, like becoming a doctor, but it hits a different part of the human spirit and the human soul, and so it should be supported. And so I'm a proponent of supporting the arts.
No, absolutely. And you did mention it was about some of Jim Carrey. Don't mind me, I'm just having a brain fart. Some of
That's
Jim
okay.
Carrey's movies actually shook you to your very core, but got you excited. And
Absolutely.
no, go ahead.
Absolutely. Yeah, so if we're just going to talk about Jim Carrey a little bit, yeah, so one of the, I think I told you about like how my first boyfriend did
Yeah.
an awesome impression. Okay, so already I was impressed with him just doing stuff that was kind of fluffy and fun and funny, and but when he started moving over into like real drama, real guttural performance, he did a film called Eternal Sunset of the Spotless Mind, and that film just resonated with me like on all sorts of levels, and it was incredible. It was incredible to see him flex out of something that everybody had pigeonholed him into. Like Jim Carrey, he's the funny guy. He's always just, he's just the funny guy. And then he did this really honest and emotional performance, and showed what it was to be a true artist, and has since, even though he's had things happen in his personal life that are unfortunate and very soul crushing on some levels, he is still a amazing artist, and somebody that I'd love to meet and just converse with, just to understand a little bit more of like how he's reaching into himself to pull out performances. And there's a great documentary called Andy and Jim on Netflix. You should definitely check that out because it's definitely something worth watching, and appreciating Jim Carrey for more than just being the funny guy, and appreciating him on a level of he is a true artist and he's Canadian, and we should be very proud that that is somebody that we have created and given to the world.
No, absolutely. Now, the next question I was going to ask you, and well, we can go to the college years in a couple minutes, but
Sure.
while staying on the entertainment, my next question I was going to ask you is social media. Can social media make you or break you? And with everything you have accomplished, does your Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn following influence people say, I have to work with you? Or is it the message?
So for me, I don't think that I've landed any gigs knowingly off of social media platforms other than maybe Facebook, because it's somebody that I've already come into contact with and we've developed a relationship, and so they're like, we're doing something, would you want to be a part of it? When it comes to like Twitter and LinkedIn and Instagram, those are more things where I promote the jobs that I'm doing, promote the art that I'm creating, to get out to the world, rather than reaching out and saying, work with me, work with me. Although if somebody wants to reach out and say, work with me over social media, like hit me up and I will definitely happily probably talk to you. Yeah.
Hey, I'm a perfect example of that.
Sorry? Oh, yes, that's true. You are a perfect example of that.
What about, I give you an example. Say you have over thousands of people following you, and you are beautiful. You have thousands of people following you. And for me, I don't have a lot of people following me, but I have a strong message.
Right.
Now, what makes the person get the role? Is it the following or is it the message?
I think it's a little bit of both. Like if you follow somebody who has a similar mindset or similar passion to what you're promoting, that person is more likely to follow you as well. So it's a little give and take. If you follow and you have something that person likes, they're likely to follow you back.
No, absolutely. It's just hard to get people out there because, it's you see these dumb videos online, someone eating a banana. Okay, a dog eating a banana, that's cute. Okay, I watch that. But you just sitting there watching a guy eating a banana, and somehow that gets 1 million views. But yet, you compare that to my talk show, it's kind of like, I don't.
Sometimes you have to slog it.
That's true. But
Yeah.
For an example, I have, Facebook is over 200 people who I interviewed and some people who I liked. Instagram is slowly growing. It's about, last time I checked, 394. I don't know if you're following me on Instagram, but we should definitely work that out.
Sure.
Let's see. YouTube subscribers are over 200. LinkedIn, it's over 100. So it varies. And some of my interviews I found out recently got over, like, one got 1,000. The second one got, my interviews with Brad Stark. Brad Stark got over 6.9. And there was something else that I got over, like, 1,000. And my fan-made parodies of Dumbo and Dumbo Book, they do not count because I just do those for funs. Shits and giggles. But my free interviews is like 1,000, 6,000, another 1,000. I'm like, okay, maybe there's something about these free that I can relate to the other ones. But there's other ones where they get over like, 100. But these are over 1,000, so I'm kind of like, when and how did that even happen?
Well, I think it's probably a little bit of promotion, and then also who you're interviewing. So
Right.
Yeah.
So now you can go see, and for for the time being, a limited time on the KeithAndrewNetWork.com, you can see the whole season 1. Every Monday I will post an episode that will play for a whole week. So this week we're playing it with Lawrence Chow. It's my first guest. You can see the episode. You can see the video quality get better over the years too. So it's going to be from 2013 all the way through 14.
Very good.
That, you don't worry about, well, I'm working today, or I can't see it today, or whatever. Just go to the website when you have time, and for a full week, you will see each episode. And hopefully that will get it over 100.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's all about who you, and I agree with you. It's about who you have on the show. If it's a great guest like you're going to get, over, I'm hoping, 1,000 or at least 100. Plus, I'm pushing towards 100.
Okay.
But it would be nice if it's over 1,000. Wishful thinking. But it depends if it's funny, if it's fast paced, if it's entertainment. It goes like that.
Yeah.
I interviewed some guests. It's kind of like, a wallpaper dry, and it's kind of like, if there's no chemistry, like you're saying, what you're saying is there's no chemistry, you're setting yourself up for failure. If there's chemistry, like you and me have, it's gonna be fun. It's gotta be spontaneous. It's gotta be unique, and
Exactly,
it's gonna make it for a fun time.
Exactly. You need fun interviews.
With that being said, the next thing I'm going to ask you is, actually I'm going to save this part when we come back from a commercial break, and when we come back, I'm going to pass the show over to you, actually after I ask you 2 more hard-hitting questions.
Sounds good.
Very.
Arlene Schofield.
My name is Shireen Snow.
My name is Carla A. Miles.
Diana Camuto.
This is Christine Dunford.
I'm me, Ida. Caroline Macy. This is Walker Fannin.
Maria Camille Dixon.
I'm Dates Wardam.
My name is Linda Presson, and you're watching the Keith Andrew Network.
Me, Mark Medley. Hi, everybody. This is Mark Neely.
Barry Papick.
This is Peter Bruno.
My name is Kyle Collier.
This is Julio Santiago, better known as Dynamite.
I'm Richard Epcar.
Orange Chow.
This is Kerrigan Mahan.
This is Goldar.
And we both support
Keith Andrew.
My name is Ron Wasserman, and I am supporting Keith Andrew and what he is doing, and you better do the same, or I'm gonna come kick your ass.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Keith Andrew Network. I'm here with Stephanie and the beautiful and talented Stephanie Ross. And I just want to say thank you for sticking with us, and with the last 15 minutes left to the show, I'm going to pass it over to you. Was there any funny stories you wanted to share? Anything you want to promote? This is your time. You can ask me anything you want. Gloves off.
Okay, so I think with a little bit of promotion right now, I think I'm going to help some friends out and promote a local arts festival. So in Guelph, Ontario, on the long weekend of August, a few of my friends from Keel Hall Productions, which I was part of building that production company up, they will be hosting a pirate festival on the long weekend of August. So the 4th, 5th, and 6th, I believe, is the weekend. So August 4th, 5th, and 6th in Martin Park. So I will give them a little opportunity to be plugged and just let people know about more recently the work that I've been very active in. I've recently shot a short film, which was just a funny little quick friend thing to do, and it was about it was a St. Patrick's Day horror film, and it was Secret of the Banshee. And it was kind of a fun day to shoot a quick little funny film that was like horror based. And so that has recently been put out there into the world. And my biggest thing that I'm working on right now is a sketch comedy podcast called Your Mom's a Podcast. And it's not the proper YOUR, Your Mom's a Podcast. It's Your Mom's a Podcast. So YER, Your Mom's a Podcast, which is a really funny little podcast that I've been doing with a partner and a lot of amazing artists who have helped, voice artists who've come in and helped us create stories and generate laughs. And so I'm really very proud of that. And my partner in that is he's a playwright called Tom Argyle, and he has recently put out a few different plays, and they're getting a lot of hype. And so if you get a chance to see any of his plays, I suggest going out there and seeing them. And he will very soon be releasing a book. And I have started working locally with a writer myself, and we'll hopefully be churning out a few stories, nonfiction stories, in a little while, and we'll be able to promote those in the near future.
Oh, absolutely. And so while on the subject of books, I actually wrote a book 5 years ago.
Oh, congratulations. That's amazing.
Thank you. But unfortunately, it came out to be a big joke.
Oh.
But pretty much,
that happens.
Pretty much what happened was I wrote it. I was jealous of one of my siblings. You know, they wrote their own books. I was like, well, I can do it too. So it was the KeithAndrewNetwork. Actually, what's the Keith Andrew? It was Keith Andrew, when you overcome concept. I'm trying to think of it. It's been so long. Keith Andrew, when you overcome controversy, dreams do come true. Even though people make fun of it, saying, why do you say controversy? You can't overcome controversy. So or you can, or whatever. So that was one. And it was filled with spelling errors. You know, for an example, I wrote a chapter about my mom. Says she went to community college. Instead, it says she went to comedy college. And everyone's like, oh, she was from Long Island. But instead it said she came from Long Land.
She needs Ryan Reynolds to help her.
No, I wrote it.
He's a marketing guru. She should definitely hire him to get your book out there.
Yeah, it would be nice. But that was even before the talk show. So I was just saying, oh, here's a wife growing up, first grade to second grade, and talk about the retail, when I got sick, when I got better. And then I started, I guess I hinted towards the talk show. This is 2012. I did the talk show 2013. So it was just me ranting. And it's kind of like, as you know, sometimes I don't know when to shut up for my own good. But it's kind of like, okay, maybe a book isn't a good idea for me right now. Because, yes, I did over, thanks to you, 479, but maybe I should wait. Instead of saying, oh, here's all the past, garbage I had to go through. And why not do something different? Say, wait till I get a studio. Wait till I'm on TV. Because I've been on radio. I've been on, radio. I had special interviews on my show where they would be interviewing me, and maybe you would like to interview me one day. And, I was interviewed by Susan, drawing a blank. Susan Brender. Susan Brender used to have a show, and I said, hey, let's do a special interview where Susan Brender interviews Keith Andrew for episode whatever. And then then we did that again for, I think Bay Ragme did one where he interviewed me on my show. Judy Wen did the same thing. And I have practice of being interviewed. So Skype interviewed, and I was on radio with Mark Melanie. I was on L.A. Cooper's show, Talking Out Loud. I was on, trying to think without hurting myself. The Reading Circle, that's in New York. I was on L.A. Cooper. And that's really about it. But actually, something that you really think would help you, but it has helped me get myself out there. I don't usually do this. I usually do like a commercial plug, but I'm going to save that for next season. For people who want celebrity endorsements or recommendations. For an example, Stephanie came to me and said, hey, I saw you're on CelebrityVM.com. It's my birthday, it's my brother's birthday. He thinks you're an inspiration because you have a disability. You turn yourself into an experience. Turn yourself into an expertise for people with disabilities. For $20, you can get in charge. For $20, I can say whatever you want. Can I have a recommendation? Can I get a shout out? And if you don't want up and coming people, there's celebrities like Brooke Hogan, people from NCIS, Blue Bloods. You should be on there because you're a great actress. And it's a great way to interact with your fans and make money on the side.
Thank you actually for saying that, because they should actually put me on their show. I think it would be in their benefit.
No, absolutely. I can definitely send you the link. You can sign up and you can promote it. It's like I said, it's a great way to interact with your fans. And they were helping me, but they're busy. But hopefully I got to get them back on the bandwagon. But Celebrity VM. Just go to the KeithAndrewNetWork. And I would definitely send you the link. But wrapping up our talk show, for people out there who would be interested in buying the official, I put it on bed now, I can get the official Keith Andrew Network hoodie for those long, cold, windy nights. Especially for you, you're in Canada, so it gets really cold up there.
I definitely need one of them.
These come in different colors. I like the black and gold. For you, I can sit down with you and we can discuss. Maybe you would like the pink and black, or whatever color you would like. I sit down with people saying, is this a good idea? If that's a bad idea. But we have the official hoodie. We also have the long short sleeve shirt of the Keith Andrew Network. Comes in different colors. I have black, brown, and the new one on my fan page, it's orange. And for the women, we have pink. So we have this. We also have the one in brown I was telling you. And if you like, you have custom made. It says never give up and prove people wrong. And for those fall, spring into fall, we have another long sleeve shirt. Again, any color you can think of, I will negotiate. We can fix it. It's all in the works. So these are all demos for right now. But with that being said, we're wrapping up our interview segment. First question is, are you on social media? Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Stage 32. Are you on any of those fun things?
I'm on Stage 32 for sure. Definitely on Instagram under She Who Performs. Twitter is Steffi Lynn 28, I think. And I'm on LinkedIn as well as Stephanie Lynn Russell.
No, I do have a couple questions for you off the air.
Sure.
And wrapping up our segment, when I first approached you to be a guest on my talk show, what was your first reaction and what made you say yes?
I think my first reaction was that it was I felt a little bit humbled that you had reached out and had taken an interest in the work that I was doing. And so I really appreciate that. Thank you very much for reaching out and making me feel a little bit special. I also was, when you were describing the project a little bit more, I thought it was a really great thing to support a young person who is trying to overcome obstacles that not most people have to overcome, but not that you're alone in overcoming them. And so I am definitely in support of making sure that people with special needs get to have a chance in our world to do something with their lives and not, as you have said, be a burden. I don't think that they're ever a burden, but I do know that that accommodations have to be made to make sure that that people can do a job and feel good about themselves, and it doesn't matter who they are or what they need to overcome. People need to feel that they're wanted and needed, and so I'm here to support that and to support more people with disabilities getting into the creative arts. And so you taking the lead on having a show is very impressive to me. And so thank you so much for letting me be a part of that and helping you to support your goals.
No, absolutely. And how do you feel now?
I feel pretty good. I think it's going to be a good episode, hopefully, for you. I hope you enjoyed yourself at least.
No, absolutely. Hey, you help me, I help you. It's all about networking, and hey, you're making a new friend out of it at the same time.
Exactly.
Now, stay tuned. I do have a couple questions for you off the air. While wrapping up your interview segment, I'm looking forward to part 2 down the road.
Sure. I'd be happy to come back.